Welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard, heading into week 8 of the NFL. Man, we have an injury crisis going on this year. I don't know what it is, but it seems like every team is down bad on the injury front. And those who aren't are reaping the benefits. Smokey, how are you doing?
Oh, I am good. I am better than Browns fans right now. You know, I really wanted to put the Texas Longhorns on there, but we'll stick to the NFL for right now. The Browns are back to being the pit of sadness or factory of sadness or whatever they were called before. Sadness, yeah, that team has fallen apart absolutely, and I guess they're tanking at this point. But other than that, how are you, Alex?
I'm better than Cleveland sports fans in general, I guess. Because, you know, like, we know football season was down the drain about a week or two ago. I think we had a whole town put their hopes on baseball. And instead what we're getting is the most meteorite World Series of all time. I don't think anything can top it at this point. Yeah, Cleveland sports in general is what I am certainly better than. Yeah. But we have a lot of interesting games this week, including the Browns, who are probably going to get their teeth kicked in. But before we get into that, quick reminder, MVP polls are out every week on our channel, on our dashboard, community page, so you can go vote and tell us who you think is currently the favorite to win MVP. Reminder, there's 4 options there. That's the maximum YouTube allows me to. There are more candidates. I understand that. If your candidate isn't mentioned there, leave a comment, and but go vote and tell us who you think should be the MVP right now. It's Smokey. What do you think right now? MVP power rankings?
Yeah, obviously Lamar Jackson at number 1. I mean, that was a dominant display. That was a really good offensive display on both sides of the field, but Lamar is playing too well. I know he had a rocky start to the beginning of the season, but it's hard to put anyone else on this list above him. But I do have Jared Goff coming in second because his accuracy is off the charts right now, and he's playing out of his mind. I did predict him, so it's kind of easy to throw him up there, but I predicted before the beginning of the season that Jared Goff would win the MVP, so I would like to see him keep rising. Other than that, it's kind of a bottleneck. You got Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen. They're battling out. I can't drop Baker too much for that loss, even though there's 3 losses on the season for the Buccaneers, but that was a great display. I mean, they played well. It may go downhill from here, missing his 2-star wide receivers, but we'll see. So I got those 4. And then on the bubble, I mean, kind of fighting for the 5th place right now, Sam Darnold, Jaden Daniels, and Joe Burrow. But I guess really on the bubble would be Jordan Love because he looks like Brett Favre out there. He's a gunslinger. I did not expect it. I thought he was going to be more of one of these dynamic quarterbacks that we've seen recently in the league. But the guy is letting it fly, and it could either be Brett Favre or Jameis Winston. We're going to see a lot of interceptions and a lot of touchdowns out of that guy. 2 names have played themselves out of the running right now. I guess it would take something drastic for either of these guys to come back into the rankings, but Kirk Cousins and Brock Purdy are off the list for right now. What does yours look like?
Yeah, it's pretty similar. I have Lamar at number 1 after that performance Monday night. Of course, big stat pad, obviously, but that's, you know, everyone takes advantage of that. It's not a unique thing. He's looking good. Great stats, leads league in passer rating, and a couple of great performances after that rocky start. I think he's back up there. You got to put him up there. Still Josh Allen for me, number 2. He's been the cleanest, most perfect quarterback so far this year, even though the team's success hasn't always been there. He's yet to throw an interception, and for those who care about quarterback rating, total QBR, he leads the league in that as well. And after that, it sort of becomes like a mixed bag. Look, I want to put Joe Burrow up there because statistically speaking, he's just top dog, but the Bengals have to keep winning games. They have found that momentum now. They won a game. This one's going to be a lot harder now against Philly this week. They can keep it going. Joe Burrow's back in the conversation. Then you got Jared Goff, I think, more than earned it. And I very much agree with you on the rest. They're Baker, Jaden Daniels, and Sam Darnold sort of kind of just hanging around for the number 5 spot. You can kind of construe it a lot of different ways. But for me, Allen, Jackson, sort of in their own class at the top a little bit, team success and great performance. Then Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, and pick the rest. So I'm curious to see if there's going to be like a little bit of crystallization over the next few weeks or so, where we have like an established core of 2 to 5 people, because for a long time we've had like a lot of players that are still technically candidates. A lot of things that can happen, so I'm curious to see how that develops. Reminder again, you can go vote for your favorite for the MVP right now, who's the leader or who should be favored on our channel page. Let's get into week 8. Before that though, Smokey, what are our prediction updates?
Oh yeah, we had another great week. When these games started, I thought, oh no, we're about to have a horrible week, but it actually turned out way better than I thought it would be. Let's see, we disagreed on the Texans Packers, and I got that one. We disagreed on the Chiefs and 49ers, which I picked your 49ers, and I didn't realize everyone was going to be in the hospital by the end of that game, but yeah, but it is the Chiefs, you know. If there's any way the NFL can get the Chiefs to win, they're going to win. But we also disagreed on the Jets and Steelers. I picked the Steelers, so I actually gained a point on you this week, 2-1 here. I did not figure out the total, but the total on the week was 12 for me and 11 for you, which was a really good week. And that makes my total 68, and your total will be 74.
Okay,
Yes.
6 points. Yeah, maybe this is the crack. This is where it starts going the other way in the season. Close to halfway point, this is where it all turns.
Possibly.
I can already see it coming. I'm going to try to save this and right the ship before anything goes wrong here this week. But there are a lot of tough games, and it starts Thursday night with the Vikings, who have finally saw defeat versus the down-and-out Rams.
Yeah. I think this is a rebound game for them, though. That was a great battle. That game went back and forth, and it came down to the very end, and the Lions just barely edged them out. I think there was a little bit of a clock management issue also. But here we go. The Lions won, and the Vikings took their first loss. And I can't say that's bad news for Sam Darnold. He's still playing great regardless. You know, he may not win the MVP, but he's having a great season overall. This is the breakout season for Sam Darnold. And the team should get right back to winning here, because the Rams are absolutely, like you said, down and out. And they're talking about trading Cooper Kupp now. Cooper Kupp should be coming back. Maybe they'll have him in this game, maybe not. They've also designated Puka Nacua to come back from IR, which would help them out a lot. But the Rams... yeah, they're coming off a win, but they're bad overall. The team is just not looking good. I expect the Vikings to go on the road and take this one fairly easily.
I do agree with that. Vikings had, the game of the week against Detroit. Someone posted a stat line. If you look at the box score, it is incredible how even that game was. Yards, production, rush yards, pass yards, everything. Down the ranks, a completely even match. And I'm not opposed to having this repeat in the playoffs, potentially for a championship here in the NFC North. I'm not, but assuming that the Niners are not, it's not exactly their year to go to the championship. This would be maybe my second pick. I would not be opposed to seeing this again. This is a great game, two evenly matched teams. Rams, not looking great, so I will take the Vikings. There's rumors about Cooper Kupp being traded, so maybe the Rams are in a little bit of a sell mode, but I will take the Vikings here. Ravens and the Browns.
Yeah, another dominant team gets another shot at a tanking team. The Browns are so bad right now. I don't care. Deshaun Watson's out for the season. That was a horrible injury. I know a lot of people don't like him. It almost feels like this collective consciousness thing that took out Deshaun Watson because he's so hated. And people hate the Browns for making that move, obviously. And the Browns are getting this cosmic karma from this collective consciousness of everybody just focusing their hate toward this one team. They are absolutely reaping the benefits of that, and this team they got to be tanking by this point. What is there left? You're not going to win anything. I don't care if it's Jameson or DTR. Jameis, I'm sorry. Jameis Williams. Jesus Christ. I keep mixing up Jameis Winston with Jameson Williams here. But if it's Jameis or DTR, they're going to have the same luck. It's the Ravens. They're dominant. I'm taking the Ravens on the road.
Absolutely, yeah. Browns are possibly the worst team in the league. So Baltimore's on a streak. No one's stopping their run game. Take the Ravens. Titans and Lions.
Well, here's another one. The Lions are coming off of that, and they have the momentum for sure, and they're going to be back home for this one. And the Titans are just as bad as the first three teams that I've mentioned, or the first two. This will be the third absolutely tanking team. So these picks are fairly easy this week. I'm taking the Lions at home.
Absolutely, yeah. A couple getting the easy ones out of the way, right? So I'll take the Lions as well. Titans are not looking good at all. So Lions win at home. Colts and the Texans.
It should be another one though, right? The Texans did take the loss in a very close game to the Packers, and those two teams were evenly matched, like I said, and that's why it came right down to the wire. It was much like the Vikings and Lions of last week. These teams were fairly even, and they fought tooth and nail right down to the bitter end, and it happened the way it did. But Texans were on the losing end of that. But here is a get-right game. You're going to be at home for this one. You're going against the Colts with AR. The Colts with AR is absolutely horrible. AR, he's not going to be a starter next year. Not playing at this level. Something drastic would have to happen. The guy only has a run game, and if you don't have a specific offense in mind for him, it's not going to work out. Like, the guy can't pass the ball. But yeah, the Colts are bad. Texans are fairly good. I'll take the Texans at home.
Yep, another one that's seemingly pretty easy. Houston won a game. I expected them to win against Green Bay. They ended up not winning, unfortunately. That was my pick. That was where I gave up my point to you last week. But they still played a good game. They're still pretty good team, and they still by far the team favorite to win that division. I think they'll have no problems with that. And that continues when they beat Indianapolis here at home. Packers and the Jaguars.
Yeah, on the other side of that game. The Packers, those two games, the Packers and the Texans and the Vikings and Lions, those teams are so evenly matched that it's whoever is lucky enough to have the ball last that wins. And that's what happened here. The Packers happen to be on the winning side of that, like I said earlier. The Jags are coming off of a pretty dominant win over the Patriots in Germany, but they have to come all the way back home this week, and the Jags are not that good overall. And I expect them to go back to losing here. I think the Packers just have too much firepower, and the Jags defense is not good at all. They should have an easy win on the road. I'll take the Packers.
Agree. Again, the easy games continue. Maybe there's a couple more of them. I promise you it'll get more difficult. I will also take the Packers. Impressive win. I didn't expect it. They're looking a lot better. The season looked bad when Jordan Love was injured first week, but the team around him is good. This is the best Packers team we've seen in probably 2 decades, aside from, take away the quarterback. It's looking good, and they need it in that division because it's the strongest division in football right now. Packers win at Jacksonville. Cardinals and Dolphins.
Yeah, this one is tough. Tua is coming back, so that's got to be a tick in favor of the Dolphins, right? There has been absolutely no passing game for Miami since he left, and the run game suffers because of that. You can just load the box and take care of the run, and you have that. Devon Achane is a perfectly good running back, and he should get the load of the work, but they also have 2 very capable running backs behind him, and you know about the 2 superstar wide receivers. No need to harp on that. If Tua is here, this team will be so much better, but the Cards, for just a second, should not have won that game against the Chargers. The Chargers is a better team than the Cardinals, but they ended up taking the win at the very end in a late night game. I guess it wasn't so late for them out on the West Coast, but it was very late here. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say that the Dolphins get back on track here. I would not be surprised if the Dolphins go on a run now that Tua is back. This should re-energize the team. We know they have a potent offense if they have Tua to run it. But anything other than that, and it's going to be a difficult time, even against the Cardinals. But I'll take the Dolphins at home.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me because the Dolphins have looked so rancid in recent times. But with Tua back, of course, we've known this is sort of the push they really need, and this is exactly what's going to do for them. Cardinals were handed a win in the most unrewarding fashion possible by a blatant ref ball against the Chargers, who, by the way, Justin Herbert broke another infamous record of having the highest passing yards and passer rating in NFL history without the team scoring a single touchdown and managing to lose the game. I don't understand. Something over there is cursed. This is just a repetition of the Phillip Rivers career, but it's looking even worse. It's like Andrew Luck. I don't know what's going on. How can that happen for so many years in a row to the same team, to the same player? I just don't get it. No clue. Doesn't make sense to me. Let's see what happens. But besides the point, we're talking about the Cardinals and the Dolphins. I'm gonna pick Arizona. I don't know. I have to go off the past few weeks. I know that Tua being back is important for this offense, but the Dolphins have been in a lot of needless turmoil, a lot of off the field nonsense this year. Just doesn't really seem to click. And then of course you got the injuries piling up on defense yet again for another year. Taking the Cardinals as much as I don't want to. Jets and the Patriots.
Yeah, is this a tank at this point? Oh, man, the Jets are so bad. Like, I hate it because I thought that Aaron Rodgers was going to come in there and fix things now that he's healthy. But, they're running all of their elite outside wide receivers out of the slot. Like, it seems like everybody that catches a pass from Aaron Rodgers is in the slot. So I'm worried about his arm. Like, I guess it's because he's throwing off of his foot, and he did have the Achilles here. So maybe he can't pass that far anymore. That's what I'm starting to wonder, and that's a problem when you need a ton of points to catch up. When you're behind in a game, you got to take shots downfield, but Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem to be doing that, not from what I've seen, so it does make me worried about them. The Patriots with Drake May got walked over. Drake May is better than the other options they have sitting on the bench right now, so I think Drake May is going to be fine for the future, but as for right now, the team just doesn't have it figured out. I'm going to go one more time on the Jets and see what happens, but I wouldn't be surprised whoever wins this game. I'll take the Jets on the road.
Yeah, I'm just going to close my eyes and follow you here. The Jets are another team that, they didn't even get the 2-game bump when the coach was fired. It's another one of those organizations that are just structurally so mismanaged from the top down that replacing individual pieces, whether it's be coaches or the quarterback, it just doesn't seem to matter. It doesn't seem to make the difference fundamentally. And this is where you get to see a franchise that is fundamentally well run just distinguish itself from one that isn't. If you look at this, is a very similar situation to what happened to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 5 years ago. They were a team that was just a couple of talented players short from being really good because structural integrity wise, they were fine. They were always doing good. They were never really terrible. And then Brady came, and then Chris Godwin came, and Leonard Fournette and Rob Gronkowski, and it was enough. That team was good. Drafted good defense. Team was great. Doesn't work like that for the Jets. The names are there, but the team isn't ran well. You can't just take the superstar quarterback, plug him into anywhere, and just expect everything to be fixed magically, right? Look at the Chargers as an example. So something deeper is going on. Something deeper is the problem in New York. Don't expect a lot of fortune in the future. Aaron Rodgers is not going to stay with this team. If he doesn't retire, assuming he doesn't, I don't think he's going to stay with the Jets. He's going to want to go somewhere else to have a little bit better of a chance. Of course, the Patriots are also down in the dumps, so I'll take the Jets based on the names alone, but I'm not convinced at the moment. Falcons and the Bucs. This one's big.
Oh yeah, it is, and the Falcons got the win last time. But Falcons, come on! The football world kind of got behind you for a couple weeks, right? They like the feel good story of Kirk Cousins coming to town and getting this team back on track after a few absolutely horrible seasons, and you kind of dumped in your helmet on the field this past week against the Seahawks, and that was not a good showing. The defense absolutely let the Falcons down. The run game is still good. The passing game is not there because when Kirk Cousins got behind, he just couldn't make those big throws to get us back in the game there. But if we can get ahead in this game, which is going to be tough because our defense is not holding. Well, actually, I can't say that. Sometimes defense has been good. We've seen them win games off of the defense, but the Bucs have a potent offense. And Baker will go out there and play hero ball all over that defense if they play like they did last week. So that's kind of scary. It's so hard to beat a team twice in a season, and this one's in Tampa Bay. I'm going to say that we split the series. I'm taking the Bucs at home.
Yeah, it's a tough game, right? And you don't seem too confident. I guess after last week, man, that defense collapsed and did against Seattle at home. It's not what you want to see. Buccaneers played a fantastic game, and you could say their defense collapsed, but offense looked good. They were taking it to the Ravens. So this is a difficult one for me to pick. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick this purely on like current precedent. I will take the Falcons at Tampa Bay for the very simple reason the Bucs are out of receivers. Mike Evans won't play. Chris Godwin won't play. They don't have guys. I mean, Baker's been good. He's been good this year, but he's not the kind of quarterback who will take like the 31st and like 59th best receivers in the NFL and be a top 5 quarterback. He doesn't do that. He, with Godwin, with Evans, very serviceable, great quarterback. I mean, he can be top 5 statistically. He plays very well. He's a very good starting quarterback. But he's not that Josh Allen, prime Aaron Rodgers kind of top guy. And I think it'll be at least an adjustment phase for him until at least one of the receivers is back or until he's built more chemistry with those backup guys. I think the offense will struggle a lot for Tampa and the Falcons profit and get it done. Eagles and Bengals.
That's tough. Hey, here's one of the games that actually has all of the elite wide receivers on the field. Both of these teams fairly healthy considering the current trend in the NFL right now. So this should be a good game to watch. There should be a lot of passes thrown here. Probably some goal line tush pushes also. I'm sure we'll see that. The Eagles are not on a great trajectory at this point in time. I know they stomped out the Giants, yes, of course, but they've struggled so much this season. They are not as good as their record, sitting at 4-2, in my opinion. The Bengals are coming off of some wins here because that's just what they do. They get going after a few games, and their offense hasn't been doing the 30-point thing like it did for the first 4 weeks of the season, or 5, whatever it was, and they're just... I don't know. They're just not. I mean, it's not. I guess it's not that they need to really push it at this point in time. I mean, you've been playing teams like the Browns. Like, you just score a couple touchdowns and you're good. It doesn't really matter. So, I expect that against the Eagles, which is a really good team to pass on, it's very easy to pass on the Eagles. I think we're going to get a lot of passes out of Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase. Names are messed up with me again today, but I think the Bengals will ride right over the Eagles in the end. At home, I'll take the Bengals.
This one's also difficult. Bengals on the rise, for sure. Eagles just beat up on the Giants, which wasn't that impressive. This one's tough to pick because we know what both of these teams are sort of capable of and what they're not capable of. So for this one, I'll take the Bengals at home purely because of home field. I think that's probably my only reason. This is going to be one where I was going to sit and watch, and I just don't really know what to believe. But I'll take the better quarterback playing at home to win here. Saints and Chargers.
Can I say that the Chargers at 3-3 are about to participate in a tank bowl? That's the question. Yeah, like you said, man, this is Phillip Rivers all over again. Like, the team has weapons. The receiving core is not what it used to be, obviously. You got some rookies out there, or rookie and a second-year guy, and your running back situation. These are new guys, new coach. I mean, I expect maybe they'll get it together. It's probably going to be a rough year, just up and down all season. I still believe in the talent on that team, though. It's just, you got to get the potential out of them. Luckily, they're facing the Saints, who were so down right now. Talk about missing people. I mean, I guess we're going to see Spencer Rattler once again. I don't think Derek Carr is ready to go. Although, I did see a blurb that says Coach is thinking that Spencer is going to start as long as Carr is not ready. I'm assuming Carr is not ready for this game, and it's not like he was setting the world on fire when he was there. Spencer adds a different element, but the guy just doesn't have it. I mean, I guess that's the whole thing we saw. The guy was recruited to be Lincoln Riley's next Heisman winner, but it didn't pan out because he has the tools. He just doesn't know how to use them in the end, and that may be just what we see in the NFL. Maybe a lifelong backup, maybe a UFL star one day, but not doing it right now for the Saints. I'll say that the Chargers can get one over on them and take the Chargers at home.
You know what? My faith in the Chargers is 0. I don't know. Like, how do you lose these? Okay, they should have won this game. Obviously, they should have won it. They got screwed over by the refs. Yeah. They played an decent Cardinals team. They were better than them. Of course, terrible drops, fumbled through the back of the end zone. I mean, I saw a tweet this morning like, the most Charger play of all time, or Justin Herbert's entire career summed up in one play. 60-yard dart down the field, hits the receiver right in the hands. He jumps, fumbles it out of the back of the end zone. That's Justin Herbert's career in one play, and that's the Chargers in one play. You just never know. This team, it doesn't matter how good they are, they'll find a way to blow it. Now, I think still the future is looking better with Jim Harbaugh than it has been so far, and this is kind of the one chance to save the sinking ship. The only reason I'm talking myself into picking them again this week is because, number one, I know Justin Herbert's an elite quarterback. We see it every week. He's just cursed somehow. And number two, the Saints are just really, really bad. I mean, we thought they were the best team in the league. They look like a bottom 10 team now. They look terrible. Can't make a stop on defense. This is a bounce back game for the Chargers. See if they get it done. I'm taking them, but with caution, and might lower my expectations for the future. Bills at Seahawks.
I would like to point out that someone who is very intelligent when it comes to football pointed out that the Saints were going to be really bad this year. So, I'll take that pat on the back. I'm patting myself right now here. The Bills and the Seahawks, man, both these teams are coming off of big wins. I do think one team is much better than the other, although it is in Seattle with the 12th man. I'm sure it's going to be a little tough for the Bills to communicate in this game, but Josh Allen, when he has an elite receiver out there, looks like the best quarterback in the league. He absolutely is. It's just that we've seen a little bit of a down season so far because he's had absolutely nobody to throw the ball to. And it's not like they have some of the best running backs in the league. They do have decent ones. I'm a fan of Cook, but he's not, in the top 5 by any means. He's just a decent. And that's all they've had is decent or less than decent offensive pieces around Josh Allen this season. Now they added one piece, and he looks like a world beater again. So maybe that's all it needed. The Seahawks, I'm not believing in that just because they got one over on the Falcons' defense. I think the Falcons beat themselves in that game. So I'll be taking the Bills on the road.
I agreed. Give me the Buffalo Bills to get it done. No interceptions, Josh Allen. Can you imagine if he went the entire year without throwing a pick? He's almost halfway. That'll be amazing. I don't know if that's ever happened to a full-time starting quarterback in the modern NFL era. That would be fantastic. The Seahawks need to be put in their place big time. If the Niners can't win a game, Seattle can't win a game either. Because as bad as this division is, it's still very much in play as long as the Seahawks don't run away with it. They need to be put in their place. I was hoping your Falcons would do it. Not very much solidarity coming from that side, so the Buffalo Bills have to take care of it. At Seattle, Bills win. Bears and the Commies.
Some people are calling this the battle for Rookie of the Year right here. People really believe in Caleb Williams, and we're going to see. This is going to be a test because the Commanders' defense is not good. They allow you to score a lot of points on them, but that offense is so potent right now, they're going to put up a ton of points. So if Caleb has any chance of becoming the Rookie of the Year over Jaden Daniels, there's going to have to be a ton of points scored in this game, and this head-to-head matchup is going to it's going to make a lot of people's opinions of how that race is going. So, who do I think is better right now? I think the Commanders are better. I do. I know the Bears have a wide receiver weapons, and I'm trying to think right now if DJ Moore is actually going to be in this game because I think he did go out previously. They are coming off of the bye. But I still think the Commanders are overall better. They have all the weapons, too. Everyone's healthy, it seems to be, on the Commanders that I can think of right offhand. So I'll take the Commanders at home.
Agreed. Give me the Washingtons at home. Jaden Daniels was a bit banged up. I'm assuming, if possible, if they can get him to, he's going to play because he's so important to that team. In just a few weeks, he's completely taken over. Don't underestimate the Bears because that roster has some quality on it, but Washington has been looking very, very good offensively. And with Jaden Daniels, even at 90%, they should win this game at home and keep a grip on that division. Panthers and the Broncos, Tank Bowl.
This is, you know what? I don't know that the Broncos think they're tanking yet. They're still grabbing wins here and there. So, Panthers, absolutely. This might be the only team that can rival the Browns right now in how bad they are. Jesus, Andy Dalton even got benched in this game. Wow, I don't know if there is a bright spot left on the Panthers. Maybe their rookie running back that hasn't started a game yet. Maybe when he gets in, that'll be the bright spot. But other than that, there is nothing good about the Panthers. And you'd love to see it. I love to see it. The Broncos have the advantage. Even though they're not in the top 10 or anything, they're still much better than the Panthers. I'll take the Broncos at home.
It's a difficult one. But I'm also purely just the Bo Nix excitement is getting me to take Denver. I think they've looked pretty good. They handily beat the Saints, which we did not expect, by the way. That was one of the big surprises that came early last week on Thursday night. And they took care of business at New Orleans. That was a strong win. And can't say the same for Carolina. They've been the worst team in the league all season. So Denver gets another one to the good. Chiefs and Raiders.
You mean the refs?
Refs and the Raiders.
The Raiders. Yeah, the refs are going to absolutely win every game this season. They may go undefeated. If they go undefeated, will it be the first team in history to go undefeated with a quarterback that's playing absolutely horrible?
Quarterback that, it could be.
It may be. Wouldn't that
more
be crazy?
Interceptions than touchdowns.
For all those people out there in the conspiracy world that think football is rigged, they are just fueling the fire with this one. But here we are. The Raiders aren't that good anyway. I mean, this should be an easy one for the Chiefs. Outside of Brock Bowers, there's nothing good about the Raiders right now. I'm not even sure who the quarterback is going to be for this one, so I'll take the Chiefs on the road.
Yep. Give me the Chiefs / the refs, if you want to call them that. I don't know where the Raiders are. Chiefs are not losing this kind of game. They're too good defensively to really let anything happen. But we'll see when they play against like stronger competition and a healthy team. Maybe there's still not the team they were the last 5 years, at least on offense, not even close, and they're completely decimated by injury, like many of the other teams we mentioned. But defensively, this team is being carried. And it's just working out. They're really, really strong. You have to give them credit there. Yeah, the refs are getting a lot of like positive decisions, going their way. Certainly stretching and bending the rules a little bit. But they are just the best defense in football over the last 2-3 years. And that's worth a lot. And the Raiders aren't doing anything about that. Prime time. Cowboys and the Niners.
Yeah. Like I said, man, all your offensive weapons went to the hospital after this game.
None of them left.
No. Kittle's on the injury report, so it looks like doom and gloom. You're going to have these two rookies step up. Although I did see a little blurb that said Juwan Jennings may be back for this game. That will help out a little bit, but, I mean, if Pearsall and Cowing, either one of them are drawing double coverage, there's no one to throw to if Kittle's not out there. If Kittle's out there, he's probably going to get every single pass thrown to him. Who else do you have, Cowboys are coming off their bye, but they're not good. They've been absolutely atrocious this year at times. Man, the Niners are decimated. I want to pick them so bad because I know how this usually goes when the Cowboys face the 49ers, especially in San Francisco. But they're so decimated right now. Like, the defense is going to have to step up and win this one. That's how we get it done. The Cowboys' offense is really down right now. The defense for the 49ers has to come through. I mean, I know they've looked bad most of the year. They still have some names out there. Let's go with the 49ers at home one more time.
Yeah, I guess. I guess so. Like, this is not what they expected it would be when they scheduled this game. Cowboys just suck. They're bad. I don't know what's going on. Niners completely decimated by injury. Doesn't seem like this is going to be the year. The Niners have, like, here's the hope that I'm currently holding on. They'll not have much for this year, but what I'm thinking is this, right? The division is pretty bad. Okay, if we can keep Seattle in check, the rest of the league, and then beat them, like split the division with Seattle, beat them on the back, the Niners can get into the playoffs at 8-9 or 9-8. It's totally plausible given what the division is currently looking like. By that time, you have Dre Greenlaw back, you have Christian McCaffrey back, you have Deebo Samuel back. You have your roster at almost full strength. If you make it to the playoffs and nothing else stupid happens until then, you're getting most of your superstars back. And then anything's possible. You could win games. But right now, that's not what it's looking like. I'm very glad they have a bye week coming up. get it done here at home and against the Cowboys. Usually, like the gods favor the Niners over the Cowboys in recent years. That's how it's gone. So I'm hoping it keeps going that way. I'll take the Niners, but not looking forward to this game either. Giants and the Steelers to close it out.
We have an easy one, right? This one should be fairly easy. I will say that Russell Wilson looks like he still has it. Man, George Pickens. People doubted George Pickens that, this guy was taken early in the second round when he was drafted. But he's supposed to be an elite receiver. He was recruited out of high school to be elite. He had some injuries through college, but when he was on the field, he was elite. We haven't seen him with a good passing quarterback his entire career. And now he's here with Russell Wilson. And in one game, they both looked elite. I know it started off kind of rocky, but when they got a rhythm together, those two were absolutely elite on the field. I don't know if Russell Wilson's going to keep this up for the rest of the season or what. I know that Tomlin would like to see that happen because Justin Fields has that the clause in his contract when he was traded that if he plays over 51%, the draft the capital goes up, whatever they paid for him. I'd have to look back and see exactly what it was. So I'm sure Tomlin would like Russell Wilson to work out because they do like to have passes in Pittsburgh, and I've seen the fans complaining about that Justin Fields winning games, but they weren't happy about it. They wanted to see passing touchdowns, and Justin Fields can only offer you rushing touchdowns. But if this works out, this team should be dominant for the rest of the season, and they'll go deep to the playoffs. I'm taking the Steelers at home, and I didn't even say anything about the Giants because there's nothing to be said right now. They're that bad.
Yep, agree. Who would have thought that the Steelers would be working out with both quarterbacks? I mean, Fields was good. Now Russell Wilson's doing good. Yeah, Pittsburgh's looking all right defensively. They're usually pretty strong. Give me the Steelers. Giants. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with the Giants, but Steelers win at home here. I feel like today we had a lot of very easy picks, like a lot of clearly one-sided ones.
It's hard to disagree on a lot of those.
Yeah, but we still did like 2 or 3
Dolphins
at least.
And Cardinals and Falcons, Bucks.
2. Falcons, but yeah,
I kind of
those are the tough
expected you
ones.
to pick the Cowboys, to tell you the truth.
Pick the Cowboys, but they're equally bad. Like if they were like good as they normally were, they're just as bad.
Yeah,
they're just as down, and so it kind of evens out again. Normally, otherwise I would have. But this way,
see, man. If the
no
49ers
chance.
lose this one, it's downhill from here, man. At least until McCaffrey gets there, and who knows when that's going to be.
Which he should after the bye week.
You think?
Like they said, they're holding him back. They're taking it easy on him. If they lose this one and they go into the bye week, he's got to come back. If he's 90%, he still has to come back. His kind of just like break in case of emergency. They got him locked behind this little glass wall. If you're 3-5 in week 10, that's an emergency.
Yeah.
You got to break that glass, especially if Debo, you don't know if he's going to be there.
Yeah.
And you're playing Seattle in week 11. So
he has pneumonia. So yeah, who knows, man? Hope it works out for Debo, but that was scary.
Yeah, we'll see. The bye week couldn't come at a better point. Actually, the bye week could come at a better point, which would be this week and not next one. But you got to get it done. Kind of drag yourself over the finish line and rely on Brock Purdy to get it done over Dallas. And the defense has been getting a little bit better, at least, or been making some plays here and there. So they're not the worst in the league anymore. Get it done. Get the bye week and regroup and recuperate. Go out, beat Seattle, and it's doable. You can make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But I'm not betting on it either. That's the other thing. I'm not exactly betting on it.
They'd have to go on a pretty good win streak after the bye, that's for sure.
Yep. Can beat Tampa, not a pushover, even with those 2 receivers out. And then it's Seattle. That's going to be the fate of the division, most likely. And 2 teams are not making the playoffs. With how the NFC North is looking, NFC West will send 1 team to the playoffs, so you have to win that division. And you can do it with whatever record you want. Mm-hmm. But you gotta win it.
Which is sad for the Falcons and the Bucks, and I think the Saints are almost out of it at this point. But for the Falcons and the Bucks, those wild card spots are going to be filled by the North. So one of you two is going to have to win the division if you want to make the playoffs.
You think at least 2 of the spots will be filled by the North?
Yeah, at least. Three.
Which also makes it a real possibility that both the Eagles and Cowboys miss the playoffs.
Oh man, I gotta look back at my my predictions, bold predictions at the beginning of the season. Did I not say that it was going to happen?
Did you? That would be a huge hit. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I have to look back because we didn't do an entire bold prediction episode, did we? We did the honors predictions. But I'll have to go back to that episode. I think I mentioned it in there that the Northern divisions would the ones this year to send 5
Could
players. Be. Yeah. 5 teams.
I mean, right now they do.
Yeah.
Right now they do.
I may have nailed that one. Didn't work out for the West last season, but it might work out for the North this season.
It could. I like the shaky candidate there is Chicago. I don't believe that Chicago's going to do very well, especially in the games against the division, like within the division, the rest of the games. But yeah, it's possible. They'll definitely take 2 spots between Minnesota, Detroit, and Green Bay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then it's only 1 spot left.
Yeah. We've seen several times where a division sends 3 teams, you know. So.
Yeah, a lot of things can still happen. We will see how it goes. It should be a good one. But yeah, next week's up. Let us know what you think about these games and your predictions in the comments. Go vote for your MVP on the channel community page. Last week we had a bit of a closer result, by the way. I know when we started the vote, we had some big outliers where everybody seemed to agree. Or we had the 70% majorities. It's getting a little bit tighter now, and I feel like we're gonna have some changes again. So last week, like after week 6, we had Brock Purdy actually still at number 1 in the voting. Jaden Daniels number 2, and then Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson lower than that. I feel like this will get even closer this week. And I can actually tell you like the current poll numbers because I only posted this a few minutes ago, but it's starting to look like Lamar and Josh Allen are taking the lead. It looks like sense. Those two are we kind of already hinted at as well. Are sort of taking charge of it this week.
Do you see who's in third? Is it Jared Goff?
Jared Goff and Joe Burrow are tied.
Okay.
At the moment. Still very early. You have to wait a few days for it to have like enough sample size. We only had a few dozen votes. Mm-hmm. We have to have like a bigger sample size, but that's what it seems like to me right now. It's probably Allen, Jackson are going to separate themselves a little bit from the pack.
Definitely. Well, Allen has not won it yet, and he's had seasons worthy of winning it, so I wouldn't be mad if he did.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, so far, no picks. So if he goes through the season without a pick, I mean, how much better can you get, right?
That would almost guarantee him to actually be the most valuable player to a certain team in the NFL.
I think so. No doubt. Considering how much worse the rest of the Bills' offense is than the Ravens' offense as well. I mean, every single spot.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. Not a doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
But we'll see. Could be an AFC Championship game as well. If things go well. That'd be very nice. We'll see how that...
if somebody can knock the refs out, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Both of these teams have been on the receiving end of the Chiefs' playoff plot armor in recent years. So both of them will be eager to do that. And I think it's doable. I mean, Chiefs are extremely vulnerable. You can turn them over on offense. They're not producing. You got to be the more complete team, I think, is what you have to do. We'll see how that turns out in the playoffs. But yeah, let us know your predictions. Let us know what you think about these upcoming games. Which ones are the interesting ones and which ones are not so interesting. Smokey, do you have anything to add for this week?
I think that's it for this week.
Thank you for watching. Drop us a like, and we will see you in the next one.
Deuces.